Welcome to another episode of the State of the Bulldogs post-game show. And back-to-back losses, Grant. The season is effectively over. We were riding so high after the Mercer win, thinking that, you know what, maybe this had been a turning point for our Samford Bulldogs. But that was not the case as we dropped one to lowly Citadel, following up probably an even more embarrassing loss to Wofford at home during homecoming, 17-13. Not what we thought was going to happen. Certainly did not see Amari Odom coming out here and playing not even well, but just, I guess, move the ball well enough.
Well enough, yeah.
They were who we thought they were. And that's the sad part, Grant. That is the sad part. So, the good, the bad, the ugly, you know how it goes. Grant, give us something good.
Against Mercer, Samford scored 55 points the last 2 weeks. They have combined for 24 points. Is that good?
That's not good. God. I was like, where's he going with this? Nowhere good.
For good, we'll save the rest of what I have for takeaways. But good, it's the defense, right? Obviously, only allowing 17 points. You play really well. Like, Odom was solid enough. He threw for 2 or 3, had the one pick. Like it was funny just watching Odom a little bit. He would roll out of the pocket left, and he would have 20 yards to run, but then he would look up and see a receiver 40 yards down the field with 2 DBs. He's like, screw it, we're gonna throw this and see what happens. So I was like, I appreciate it. He could have picked up the first down, but he's like, he did have a lot of YOLO balls out there, so it was fun to watching him play and go around. But really, it's that Samford defense holding Wofford to a 17. Like I said, you're holding them to 7 in the first half, playing really well, flying around. The secondary was okay. I know they have a couple guys out. Midnight Stewart has been out a couple weeks with an injury, and I want to say Jaliki Yancey was out last week on Saturday with an injury. So we're missing some guys back there, but still it's this defense, especially this front 7 coming to play, which we have seen over the last few weeks.
Yeah, the defense played great. I mean, if you hold an opponent in college football under 20 points, you should win the game. There's no excuse for you not to win the game unless they have a juggernaut of a defense, which Wofford does not. Wofford has a juggernaut of nothing.
Yeah.
So that was really frustrating. The good is obviously the defense. That's, we could throw out Micah Kelly. He had a really nice game on the ground. We certainly did not lose because of our inability to move the ball. I think we lost because of our inability to continue executing without explosive plays to finish drives in the end zone. That's what it came down to. We were talking before, Grant. You look at the drive chart, it's depressing. We had the ball 5 times for over 3 minutes. In the hatch attack era, if we have the ball for over 3 minutes, that sucker's in the end zone.
It's a touchdown. Yeah, time of possession's merely a suggestion at that point, what we've seen in the past few years.
Exactly. And for whatever reason, the drives were dying on the vine. And that it was just back-to-back weeks almost, right? Like we weren't able to punch it in again. We weren't able to punch it against Wofford enough. Usually that equates to more than 13. So a lot of questions coming out of this game offensively. I guess just we got to keep going back to the defense has certainly improved from last season.
For sure.
But what a weird game. What a weird game. A result like this, you would think Quincy threw a couple picks in the red zone or we got a couple red zone fumbles, but it wasn't. We just, as soon as we crossed the 50, it was like, all right, we don't really want to score anymore. We want to stop moving the ball. Odd game. Any bad or uglies, Grant, other than some of the things I mentioned?
Not really, other than what we talked about. It seems like every week I'm bringing up field goal kicking. I missed another one, which wasn't even close. I was standing to the right of the field goal post and went over my head like it was shanked that way. But no, just pretty much everything we saw about the defense, about the offense and their inability to get down the red zone and score. Like even you go into the second half on that missed field goal I talked about, you have your drive, you start at the 20, you got a good drive going, you get down to the Wofford 25, you miss a field goal, but that's a 14-play, 55-yard, 4-minute and 50-second drive that you couldn't capitalize on because you got had a sack at the worst times, you're put into field goal range, and you're almost forced to kick forced to kick a field goal, which Samford hasn't really succeeded on the last few weeks. Which is why today I went back and looked at it. In the Hatcher era, Hatcher started in 2015. Samford, when allowing 20 points or less coming into Saturday, was 31-2. They are now 31-3 under Hatcher when they're allowing 20 points or less. 2016 was the last time Samford lost a game when they allowed 20 points or less, which they gave up 15 to ETSU, which was the last time. So yeah, 30-3 when allowing 20 points or less. Sorry, 31-2 before Saturday. Now they're 31-3 under Hatcher when allowing 20 points or less.
Sheesh. And just it broke a 9-year streak against Wofford.
That too. Yeah.
We had to go back to my year at Sam to the last time we lost to Wofford. And Wofford has been terrible. They've been dog watered these past few seasons, but and the majority of that streak, we were probably the worst team record-wise.
Yeah.
Just it sucks. I mean, I was with my brother and my sister-in-law, both Wofford grads. Was not before the game.
Yeah, 2014 was the last time Samford lost at home 24-20, but they had rattled off, like you saw, like we said, 9 straight against the Terriers before Saturday.
9 straight. So we can give MVPs. I hate giving MVPs when we lose games, but that's just the season, Grant. We're losing more than we're winning. So offensive and defensive MVPs, hit it with me.
Offensive, I know you mentioned the day Micah Kelly had, but wanted to shout out Preston Bird. Had one catch, but it was the one touchdown, his first career touchdown catch. So it was cool seeing him, especially on that play where Quincy had to buy time, roll right, and he's basically running across the whole end zone, waiting for Quincy to see him be open. So it was cool seeing him get that first touchdown, which Samford desperately needed at that time. Although he just had the one catch, but still him getting that touchdown was big, and a guy that Hatcher kind of mentioned preseason about a guy who's really impressed him as a freshman. So it was cool seeing him get in the end zone on Saturday.
For sure. And then defensively,
I've said it every week, but just the play on Noah Martin and Jaden Mosley, right? Like we know you can count on those guys time in, time out. Noah led the team with 10 total tackles. Jaden Mosley had 9 and then 2 TFLs as well. And then he also had a forced fumble. So it's awesome seeing those two kind of play together. It's kind of a shame they may not, or they probably won't be able to play that kind of postseason football they hoped about, especially in Noah's last year. But it's cool just seeing them continue to attack and kind of step up each and every week, that you know what to expect from them. And they're going to bring their best no matter what. So shout out to Noah and Jaden, especially leading the team in tackles.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. That Preston Bird touchdown stood out in my mind because he's a freshman, right? And that was an incredible play on both Quincy and his part because it was very clutch. I thought that was going to be the catapult that sparked the offense to gave us a little confidence to keep on getting a few more touchdowns. That obviously did not happen. But yeah, Micah Kelly, got to give him, 89 yards, averaging over 5 yards a carry. If a running back averages over 5 yards, you got to give him some love. And then defensively, same with you, dude. Jaden Mosley, absolute dog. Noah Martin, amazing. But just another one of those weird, just the timing is everything, Grant. If you had given us this defense last season, super competitive. If you had given us last season's offense with this defense, this season, super competitive. I'm going to rattle off just some of the amounts we've given up. The West Georgia game is still the black eye on the season. Gave up 38 points there, but then only gave up 7 to Alabama State. Probably would have been 10 to 20 to Furman. We gave up 3 to VMI, 31 to ETSU, which is high, but still not insurmountable with our offense.
Yeah, you were in that game the whole way. ETSU scored 10 unanswered in the forward to win that one.
Exactly. 35 to Mercer, 28 to Citadel, which is the most embarrassing amount of points I think you could ever give to a Citadel team under Drayton, and then 17 to Wofford. So 0 times outside of maybe the West Georgia game where you're giving up 38. Once you go over 35, it's kind of out of your hand. Like the defense did not allow you an opportunity to win that game. Yeah. But the defense playing much better. They give us chances. And the offense just squanders it away. I mentioned a minute ago, if you go look at the drive chart for Samford, it's very bad. I don't encourage you to do it. But we had a 9-play drive end in a punt. The 12-play drive ended in a touchdown, but then we had another 9, another 12, and then a 14-yard drive and a 12-yard drive. All those plays and drives amounted in 6 points, which were 2 field goals.
Mm.
That's insane. Like, that is not how the math usually maths.
Yeah, math ain't mathing, yeah.
And here we are talking about a loss to Wofford for only scoring 13 points despite getting over 350 yards of offense. Riddle me that, Grant. Riddle me that.
I can, especially what we've seen from this program in the last however many years. You know, the offense, the defense, some years are solid enough and then bad some years, but you knew the offense was good enough to keep you in games, no matter almost however many points you gave up as a defense. But still, you get 3 third-quarter points. You don't score in the fourth touchdown again. Samford, again, just has 1 fourth-quarter touchdown offensively on the year. Yeah, 3 points in the second half, and look, going to the fourth quarter, even text Joe. I said, "Oh, good, we're losing in the fourth quarter. Oh, good. I know we scored a lot of touchdowns in the fourth quarter, so this probably won't turn out well." And sure enough, you did have that a drive kind of at the end of the game where you needed a legacy drive from Quincy to go down and score, and just couldn't get it done.
No, it's the other thing we were talking about, and I alluded to this, but their offense is not efficient enough at generating explosive plays. I mean, this is our average pass attempt was 5.9 yards. I mean, that's check down Charlie, basically. Average completion was 7.8 yards. You compare that to Wofford, average completion was 17 yards.
That's wild.
17 yards. So, your point about YOLO balls from the Wofford QB, sometimes you literally need 1 or 2 of those to make the difference in the ball game.
Okay, he hit on 2 of them, yeah. He had one tip ball in the end zone on the interception, but yeah, he hit on 2 of them big time throws when they needed to get inside the red zone.
Because that's the difference, Grant. When you're ending the drive at the Wofford 40, the Wofford 35, missing a field goal at the Wofford 25, you're 3 first downs away from a touchdown. You're 30 yards away from a touchdown, and that's essentially one explosive play. So you have literally one more of those on any of those 5 drives I mentioned, you win the game.
Yeah.
And we didn't have one. It's like a broken record at this point. Did not expect back-to-back losses to Wofford and Citadel. The back half of the season is going to get real ugly real quick, Grant.
Yeah, Samford averaged as an offense 4.5 yards per play. Wofford 5.4. Wofford fumbled 3 times, didn't lose any. Samford just once, and then Samford led very close in penalty yards. So like still, there's not any category which oh gosh, this is the big reason why they lost the game. You just go like you said at the top: first downs, rushing yards, passing yards, total yards. Samford led in all 3, and it's weird. They just find new ways to lose. It was ETSU where you're +4 in the turnover margin, and you end up losing that game because you couldn't move the ball offensively and your line struggled. And then you come into this week, you lead in every category except on the scoreboard. So yeah, with this schedule coming up, you have Tennessee Tech, obviously, which given what we've seen, who knows, but that should be a win. But yeah, and then you're on the road at Chat, and then you host Western Carolina in the final 2 conference games, which look like both could be L's up to this point. Maybe you steal Western on Senior Day, but still it doesn't look promising for the end of the year, as Samford finished a game under 500 last year.
The only nice part about
a game over 500 this year, and then you're inching closer to being under 500 this year.
Oh, we will finish under 500. The UTC game, what's funny, it's going to be a little bit like the Spider-Man meme where our 2 offenses are battling for who can underachieve more. We'll see. UTC, they're a weird team. They lost this past weekend. They're probably out of the SoCon hunt. Not completely out of the playoff hunt, but out of the SoCon hunt. And then Western also lost, but their offense looked good with the backup quarterback, who I think is a freshman.
They're
going to hang our defense is solid, so they're going to hang 20 to 30 on us. We ain't going to score that.
Yeah. Imagine if we still had the Furman game, obviously the one that was canceled from the Hurricane. Furman loses to VMI on Saturday.
We're beating this Furman team.
Just imagine the game we missed between these two teams trying to struggle their way across the finish line for a win.
It's so sad. It's so sad. But hey, we have it's Sunday, November 3rd. Basketball tips off tomorrow.
Basketball
against Mississippi College.
Basketball?
Oh boy. The
YouTube audience 15-minute mark. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, the Hatch Attack hat has been retired for the basketball season as Buckyball has taken over the signage, the markage, the logo.
I got my Buckyball t-shirt in the closet. We'll pull that out next week.
Zach Grant. Whose idea? Is that your idea?
Oh, that was mine. Yeah, that was mine.
Wow, look at that. Original.
Yeah, creative. Yeah, creative over here. Look out, world. Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else about this game, Grant? This was a sad one.
No, I like to forget about it, especially homecoming. You schedule a team you're going to beat for homecoming, and then you don't end up winning, like we keep saying, breaking the 9-game winning streak you had over Wofford. Basically, the only thing you had, like a guarantee, we know we're going to beat Wofford, beating them 9 times in a row, and then you don't even do that. So it just sucks, basically.
We go from almost beating a very good ETSU team to clobbering top 10 Mercer, and then losing to Citadel and Wofford. People, what are we doing? Well, we'll talk about Tennessee Tech on Wednesday, but until then, hope everybody isn't too down about how this football season's turned out, because we do love a ton of these players, and this is the last round of games that we're going to be able to watch them. So, with that, the state of the Bulldogs is out, and hope everybody on that note has a great rest of the week. We have an election on Tuesday, so get out and vote.
Shout out Buckyball. Yep.
Go Dogs, everybody. Go Dogs.
Yeah, right in Buckyball on Tuesday.